Have you ever met someone who's just a little too nice? They might compliment you so much that you start wondering if they're trying to prank you. Well, here's the deal, not all smiles are friendly. Not all kindness comes from the heart. Some people are so sweet that they're actually plotting something sinister. Today, we're exposing the truth about overly nice people and why their kindness might be hiding something a little sinister. Buckle up because this is going to get real. Point 1. They're too nice to be real. Let's talk about overly nice people who are so sweet. Maybe too sweet. That's because these are the folks. They show up with cupcakes. Offer you unsolicited compliments. Act like they're auditioning for the role of world's nicest person, but let's be honest, nobody's that perfect. Here's the controversial part, being too nice is often a strategy. Not a personality. Some people use fake kindness as a mask to cover their real intentions. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Who show up with cupcakes. Offer you unsolicited compliments. Seem like they're auditioning for the role of world's nicest person. Let's be honest, nobody's that perfect. Here's the controversial part. Being too nice is often a strategy. Not a personality. Some people use fake kindness as a mask to cover their real intentions. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Except the sheep is handing out cookies and saying, "You're amazing." Let me give you a real-life example. I once had a neighbor. Let's call her Karen. Classic. Right. She was the epitome of nice. She'd water your plants without asking. Leave little thank you notes for the smallest favors. Compliment you on everything. Oh. She was nice to you. She was also collecting information about you. Karen was nice to everyone. She was also collecting information about everyone. She was collecting information about you. She was collecting information about your friends and family. She was collecting information about your pets. 2. She was collecting information about everything you did. 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 She was those strings were tied tightly around your neck. If you didn't return the favor, you'd suddenly be on her bad side, and trust me, Karen's bad side was worse than no side at all. Here's where it gets deeper. Evil isn't always obvious. It doesn't show up with a pitchfork and horns. It often hides behind a smile. That's why overly nice people can be so. She's not being kind for the sake of it. She's collecting favors like they're Pokemon cards. She's disarming you with kindness, lowering your defenses, then striking when you least expect it. It's not just about being fake. It's about control. They use niceness as a tool to manipulate situations, to make you feel indebted, to gain your trust before flipping the script. The honest takeaway: if someone's kindness feels forced or excessive, it's probably not genuine. You shouldn't ignore your gut. True kindness is quiet and effortless. It doesn't demand anything in return. Fake kindness is a transaction. Here's the jovial part. It's like someone offering you a free donut and then asking for your firstborn child as payment. Hey, I gave you the donut. No. Thanks. Karen. Look. I'm not saying you should side with her. You were so brave for cutting your hair so short. I could never do that. Wait. Did she just insult me? At first, I thought, wow, Karen's the best. Then the truth came out. Turns out Karen wasn't being kind out of the goodness of her heart. She was collecting favors like they were Pokemon cards. Every little nice thing she did came with strings attached. Everyone who smiles at you. Most people are genuinely kind. When you start noticing patterns, like compliments that feel like backhanded insults or favors that come with invisible price tags, take a step back. Protect your peace and remember, not all smiles are friendly. Deep message. Some people aren't kind because they care about you. They're kind because they care about what they can get from you. The sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can set boundaries and protect yourself from their hidden agenda. 2. They're obsessed with control. Let's dive deeper into the people who just have to be brave for cutting your hair so short. I could never do that. Wait, did she just insult me? At first, I thought, wow, Karen's the best. But then the truth came out. Turns out Karen wasn't being kind out of the goodness of her heart. She was collecting favors like they were Pokemon cards. Every little nice thing she did came with strings attached. She was in control of everything. Everyone. Every situation. At first, they might come off as helpful, organized, even protective. You might think, wow, they really have their life together. But spend enough time around them, you'll realize that their help feels more like a chokehold. Their organization borders on dictatorship. Their protection is just a sneaky way of taking over your decisions. Here's where it gets spicy. Control freaks aren't about order. They're about domination. They don't want to make things better, they want to make things theirs. Think about it. These people can't stand the idea of not she's in charge of everything. Work projects, family gatherings, even your dinner order. Have you ever had someone try to fix your plate at a buffet? No. No. You don't want that. You should get this instead. Excuse me, are you my dietitian, or just incapable of letting me make my own choices? What makes these people so? They're dangerous because they're so subtle. They don't usually storm into a room yelling, I'm in charge now. Oh no. They're smarter than that. Instead, they use guilt, flattery, even fear to get you to hand over control willingly. They guilt trip you into compliance. That I'm just trying to help you. Why are you being so? You were so brave for cutting your hair so short. I could never do that. Wait. Did she just insult me? At first, I thought, wow, Karen's the best. Then the truth came out. Turns out Karen wasn't being kind out of the goodness of her heart. She was collecting favors like they were Pokemon cards. Every little nice thing she did came with strings attached. Difficult. They play the expert card. Trust me. I've done this a million times. I know what's best. They create fear of failure. If you do it your way and it doesn't work, don't come crying to me. A personal experience. Let me tell you about this person I knew. Let's call her Jessica. Jessica was the queen of. She wasn't just managing her own life. She was trying to manage mine. If I mentioned I was thinking of trying something new, she'd swoop in with, "Oh. No. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Here's what you should do instead." If I made a decision she didn't like, she'd go out of her way to undermine it. One time, I planned a weekend trip with some friends. Jessica wasn't invited. She tried to convince me that the trip was a bad idea, she said. "What if the weather's bad? What if something goes wrong? You should really rethink this." When that didn't work, she started organizing her own trip on the same weekend and tried to make me feel bad into ditching my plans. The kicker, when I finally confronted her, she acted like I was the unreasonable one. "I'm just looking out for you. If you can't see that, maybe I shouldn't bother anymore." Classic control freak move. Make you feel bad for wanting autonomy. Here's the honest, uncomfortable truth. People who are obsessed with control tend to control are afraid of losing control. They are afraid of chaos because it reminds them of how little control they have over life. Instead of dealing with this fear, they project it onto others. But here's the catch: no matter how much control they exert, it's never enough. Why? Because life doesn't follow their rules. Things don't always go as they want. Things go wrong. People make unexpected choices. Instead of adapting, they double down, becoming even more controlling. It's a vicious cycle. If you're caught in it, you'll feel suffocated. Being around a control freak is like playing a game where they keep changing the rules. Oh. You thought you were winning. Actually, they're not being helpful. They want you to do things their way, even if it's not what you want. It's exhausting. Sometimes, their need to be in control is ridiculous. I saw someone insist on rearranging a group photo 3 times because the symmetry wasn't right. Really? It's a picture, not the Mona Lisa. Control freaks, they might be acting out of concern, saying things like, "I'm just trying to help," or "I know what's best for you." But if you just listened to them, things would be easier. Real care doesn't take away your freedom or force their opinions on you. It supports your choices, even if they're different from someone else's. Next time you notice someone trying to control you, ask yourself, are they helping me or are they helping themselves feel powerful? And remember, you have the right to say no. You don't need their permission to live your life. People who are obsessed with control will always try to tighten their grip. Here's the irony: they only have as much power as you give. Don't give control to someone who can't handle their own insecurities. Control is their issue, not yours. Take a deep breath. Set your boundaries. Take back your freedom. Your life is yours to live, not theirs to dictate. Third, they take credit for your success. Let's get one. Sometimes, people who are obsessed with control can be exhausting. They're so focused on their own achievements that they don't appreciate the hard work and effort of others. They want the recognition and praise without putting in the effort. It's like they're allergic to the words, "great job" or "you did it." Instead, they're over here like, "oh yeah, We worked so hard on that. Here's the controversial truth: people who steal credit aren't just insecure. They're actively disrespecting your value. That it's not a misunderstanding or a miscommunication, that it's a calculated move. They want the rewards without the effort. They'll trample over you to get them. The credit snatchers aren't always obvious about it. Some of them are subtle masterminds. The team player move. Oh, we're such a great team. I couldn't have done it without you. Translation: you did all the work. I'm gonna bask in the glory. The I inspired you line. I gave them the idea. Really? It's kind of our success. Translation: I once mentioned something similar. Now it's my win too. The rewrite history trick: remember how I pushed you to do this? If it weren't for me, it wouldn't have happened. Translation: I am making stuff up to steal your thunder. Oh, I've been there once during a group project in college. I spent hours on a presentation. Researching. Organizing. Making it perfect. On presentation day, one of my teammates, let's call her Amanda, started the slideshow with, I worked really hard on this design. I hope you all like it. Wait. What? Amanda's contribution had been choosing the font, which was bad. She claimed all the credit. I was stunned and angry. After class, I confronted her. She said, I didn't mean to take all the credit. I thought it was fine since we're a team. But I felt like I was carrying the whole thing on my back. That was my first hard experience. Here's the lesson in people who steal credit. They don't care about fairness. They care about appearances. Here's the honest, deep truth. People who take credit for your success are often deeply insecure. They crave validation. Instead of earning it, they piggyback off someone else's effort. It's easier to steal the spotlight than to step up. They want to be in control and be the center of attention. Here's the thing, they usually get away with it. Why? Most people are too polite, too humble, too shocked to call them out. When someone takes credit for your hard work, it's frustrating and demoralizing. It can make you doubt yourself. Am I overreacting? Perhaps they did help more than I remember. Let me stop you right there. You're not crazy. If you feel like someone's stealing your credit, trust that feeling. Honestly, dealing with these people is like watching someone show up to a potluck with store-bought food. Maybe they did help more than I remember. Let me stop you right there. You're not crazy. If you feel like someone's stealing your credit, trust that instinct. Honestly, dealing with these people is like watching someone show up to a potluck with store-bought cookies and then brag about how they spent hours baking. Oh. Really? Karen. Did you bake them in the car on the way here? I'm pretty sure I saw the price tag still on the box. Here's what society doesn't like to admit. We're often too quick to reward the loudest person in the room instead of the one who actually did the work. Credit stealers thrive because we let them. They know that if they shout loud enough, most people won't question it. Let's be real. How many bosses, teachers, leaders really try hard to find out who deserves the praise? How do you deal with someone taking credit for your success? Say something right away. Don't let the moment pass. Politely but firmly say, actually, I worked on that design. Or, thanks for mentioning it. Or, that project took a lot of effort on my part. Keep receipts, documents, emails, drafts that prove your contribution. That way, if someone tries to rewrite history, you've got the facts. Don't play their game. Credit stealers They want you to get emotional or defensive so they can make you look difficult. Stay calm. Tell the truth. Don't let them change the story. In the end, stealing credit isn't just about ego. It's about control. It's a way for someone to make you seem less important and make themselves look better. But here's the truth, their stolen recognition doesn't make them successful. It doesn't take away from what you achieved. You are not defined by the credit you receive or don't receive. You worked hard. Work hard. Your achievements will speak for themselves. Even if someone else tries to take credit for your success. Remember that they aren't better for it. It just shows that they can't shine without stealing from someone else. Fourth, they manipulate you without you noticing. Let's talk about manipulation. The sneakiest form of control. It's subtle and insidious. Most of the time, you don't even realize it's happening until you're knee-deep in someone else's plan. Manipulators aren't obvious. They're working behind the scenes. Planting seeds of doubt. Twisting the story. Pulling strings so subtly. You don't notice until it's too late. Here's the controversial truth. Manipulators thrive because society teaches us to doubt our own instincts. We're told to give people the benefit of the doubt. See things from their perspective. Don't be so sensitive. Manipulators use that kindness against us. They take advantage of our empathy to get what they want. Manipulation isn't just about lying or being sneaky. It's about creating an emotional environment where you start questioning your own thoughts, feelings, decisions. Here are some classic tactics manipulators use. Gaslighting, they make you doubt your reality. Overreacting, you're overreacting. Guilt tripping, they make you feel bad for having boundaries. Playing the victim, they flip the script to make themselves the victim. Injured party, I'm shocked you'd say that about me. I thought we were closer than that. False flattery, they make you feel good so you don't defend yourself. You're so smart. No one else could handle this as well as you. I'll never forget the time I had a friend who was a master manipulator. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan had this incredible ability to make you feel like I owed him something. Even though I didn't. He would offer to help with small tasks. Then weeks later, he would use those favors as if they were money. One time, I told Ryan about a tough decision I was facing at work. Instead of supporting me, he subtly made me doubt myself. Are you sure you're ready for that promotion? I mean, it's a lot of responsibility. I just don't want you to get overwhelmed. At the time, I thought, wow. Ryan really cares about me. But looking back, I realized he was making me doubt myself to keep me from moving ahead. Because if I succeeded, I'd be less dependent on him. It wasn't until I started noticing a pattern that I realized what was going on. Ryan wasn't helping me, he was controlling me. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Manipulators are good at what they do because they know how to take advantage of your weaknesses. They study your fears, your insecurities, even your kindness. Then, they use that information to control you. Manipulators aren't just skilled, they're also patient. They don't make big moves all at once. Instead, they work in small steps. They're sneaky and small. You won't even realize what's happening until it's too late. It's like playing chess with someone who moves your pieces without your knowledge. Wait. My queen just moved. Oh. Well. I guess I'll just trust them. Spoiler alert, don't. Better yet. It's like being in a magic show. The magician says he has nothing up his sleeve. He's distracting you with one hand while pulling a rabbit out of the other. In this case, the rabbit is your dignity. It's disappearing fast. Here's where it gets tricky: society often rewards manipulators. They're the smooth talkers, the charmers, the ones who get things done. People admire their ability to navigate complex situations. Without society often rewards manipulators. They're the smooth talkers, the charmers, the ones who get things done. People admire their ability to navigate complex situations without realizing that their skills are just thinly veiled manipulation. And let's not ignore the double standard. When manipulators succeed, they're called savvy or strategic. But when someone calls them out, suddenly that person is difficult, paranoid, too sensitive. So how do you protect yourself from manipulators? Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Manipulators thrive on your hesitation. Don't second your instincts are right. Look for patterns. One shady comment might be a coincidence. If someone acts in a manipulative way more than once, it's manipulation. Set clear boundaries. Manipulators hate boundaries because they limit their control. The moment you enforce them, you'll see their true colors. Call them out carefully. Don't let them wiggle out of accountability. Use clear, direct language. I noticed you said X. What I experienced was Y. Can we clarify that? Manipulation isn't just a behavior, it's a violation of trust. It erodes your confidence, your relationships, your sense of self. The scariest part is that manipulators rarely feel remorse. To them, it's not about right, it's about winning. But here's the thing. Manipulators only have power over you if you let them. Once you recognize their tactics, you take away their ability to control you. It might feel uncomfortable or even scary to stand up to them. It's worth it to reclaim your voice and your agency. Manipulators want you. They want you to feel small so they can feel big. Don't give them that satisfaction. You're smarter, stronger, more capable than they want you to believe. Their manipulation says more about their flaws than it ever will about yours. Set boundaries. Trust yourself. Never let anyone make you doubt your own worth. They never say, "I'm sorry." Some people seem physically incapable of saying, "I'm sorry." You'd think the words are made of molten lava the way they avoid them. Let's be clear. Refusing to apologize isn't just a personality quirk. It's a power move. It's their way of saying, "I'm above accountability." Honestly, that's one of the biggest red flags out there. Here's the controversial truth. People who never apologize aren't just stubborn. They're dangerous. Why? They're showing you that your feelings, boundaries, even basic respect don't matter to them. People who refuse to apologize often see it as a sign of weakness. To them, admitting they're wrong is equivalent to handing over control. They think that saying, "I'm sorry," makes them lose power. But here's the twist: true strength lies in humility. It takes courage to own your mistakes and make amends. The refusal to apologize isn't strength. It's a fragile ego dressed up as pride. Non-apologizers have a whole toolkit of tactics to dodge accountability. The non-apology. Apology. I'm sorry you feel that way. Translation: your feelings are the problem, not my actions. The blame shift: if you hadn't done X, I wouldn't have reacted like that. Translation: it's your fault I acted badly. The denial dance: I didn't even do anything wrong. Translation: reality: never heard of her. The silent treatment: they just ghost the issue entirely, hoping you'll drop it. I once worked with someone. Let's call him Steve. Steve was the kind of guy who would bulldoze through conversations, dismiss other people's ideas, Make mistakes that caused chaos for everyone. One time, he completely botched a project deadline by ignoring key details. It resulted in the whole team staying late to fix it. When confronted, did Steve apologize? Nope. Instead, he said, well, if everyone had been clearer about their roles, this wouldn't have happened. Excuse me that we were all clear. Except you. Steve. The worst part, Steve's refusal to apologize created resentment in the team. Over time, people stopped trusting him. Why? Because if someone can't acknowledge their mistakes, how can they grow? How can you feel safe around someone who can't apologize? They want you to. Here's the deeper truth: people who never say sorry are often afraid of showing their true feelings. Saying, "I'm sorry," feels like admitting they're flawed. That scares them, instead of accepting their humanity. They continue to be proud and act like they're perfect. In the process, they hurt other people. But let's be real, some non-apologizers aren't insecure, they're just selfish. They genuinely don't care about making things right because in their world, your feelings are irrelevant. Being around someone who never apologizes is like playing a game of Monopoly where they refuse to pay rent. What do you mean I landed on your property? That's not how I see it. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with your stack of fake money, wondering how you ever agreed to this nonsense. Or better yet, they're like the kid on the playground who throws the ball at your face and then says, well, you shouldn't have been standing there. Seriously. Who raised these people? Let's make things more interesting. Society often rewards people who always say sorry. Especially the powerful ones. We look up to leaders who never give in, thinking they're being strong. Here's the issue. When we make this behavior okay, we teach people that it's okay to not take responsibility. Then we're surprised when relationships, workplaces, communities fall apart. Dealing with someone who taught these people to never say sorry. Let's make things uncomfortable. Society often rewards people who won't say sorry. Especially the people in charge. We look up to leaders who never back down, thinking they are strong. They're just being rude. The problem is, when we let this happen, we teach people that it's okay to avoid responsibility. Then, we're surprised when relationships, workplaces, communities fall apart. It's frustrating when someone won't say sorry. Here's how to keep your peace of mind. Stop expecting an apology. Some people will never say sorry. Waiting for it only gives them more power over your emotions. Set clear boundaries. Tell them their behavior won't be allowed. I respect myself enough not to put up with this. Don't play their game. Know if someone doesn't apologize. It can be frustrating. There's a way to keep your cool. Stop expecting them to say sorry. Some people never will. And waiting for them to apologize only makes them more powerful over your emotions. Set clear boundaries. Let them know their behavior won't be ignored. I have enough self-respect not to put up with this. Don't play their game. People who don't apologize often make you react emotionally so they can shift the blame. Stay calm and stick to the facts. Focus on actions, not words. If they won't apologize, watch how they behave. Are they making an effort to improve? Or are they doubling down on bad behavior? Refusing to apologize isn't just about avoiding blame. It's about refusing to connect. Apologies are bridges that heal relationships. Restore trust. Show that you value the other person's feelings. When someone doesn't apologize, it might seem like they don't care. Here's the good news: you don't need their apology to move on. You can admit they made a mistake. Learn from it. Let it go. So, let's recap this lesson on recognizing toxic traits. If any of this resonated with you, you might have noticed a pattern. If you're dealing with a difficult person, you're not alone. You now have the knowledge to deal with these situations. The most important thing to remember is that life is short. Don't let negative people control you. They might be manipulators. Steal your credit. Be very selfish. Their behavior says more about them than it does about you. What matters most is how you respond. Do you let them affect you? Do you set boundaries and protect your peace? Remember, it's always better to set boundaries. Later, I know firsthand how hard it can be to deal with people like this. It's frustrating, draining, sometimes even heartbreaking. Especially when it's someone you care about. But here's what I've learned: you can't change them. You can change how much access they have to you. You have the power to say no more. To draw that line. To walk away if you have to. Trust me. Walking away isn't weak. It's one of the strongest things you can do, because valuing your time, energy, mental health is never a selfish act. It's an act of self-show respect. The world is filled with wonderful, kind, supportive people. These are the people who will celebrate your wins without trying to take credit. They will own their mistakes and genuinely apologize. They will never manipulate you into questioning your worth. When you encounter such people, hold on to them. They're the ones who make life beautiful. For the others, the ones who drain your energy and make you second think about your own well-being, let go of the people who don't contribute to your happiness. Your peace of mind, personal growth, overall happiness are more important than keeping toxic people around you. If this video spoke to you, share your thoughts. Have you encountered people like this before? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be the key to helping someone else understand their own situation. And if you have a helpful tip for dealing with these types of people, share it too. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like this video, please subscribe for more honest, unfiltered content like it. Also, be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. We're building a community of people who value honesty, growth, a good laugh. Even when we're talking about tough topics, you deserve a life filled with love, respect, authenticity. Never let anyone make you feel like you're asking for too much by wanting the bare minimum of kindness and decency. So until next time, stay strong, stay sharp. Most importantly, stay unapologetically yourself. I'll see you in the next video.